Good afternoon, folks. My name is Dave, and I am the Casual Gamer. Today I'm bringing you some more Terraria. So we're going to continue on our quest. As you can see, I did a little bit of work off-screen just to completing a few other quests, just to help move us along. And as we continue, so we can see we've got a few quests to turn in here. And here we go. Let's see what we can do. That got everything turned in. We still have to kill one Eye of Cthulu, which unfortunately now by the sound change, gonna have to wait one more day to do that. That gives us a great chance to go off and do some exploring. So I think we're gonna head off now. We're gonna start actually doing some digging around in the underground. See what we can make of that. Hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves some good gold chests and get ourselves some great loot to start out with. There's one other change as well today. You'll notice that there's an extra person here with me, and that is part of the Terraria Mod. He is known as an NP player. This is actually done by just using other characters that you have created. I decided to bring him on as something to try out. He is a ranged character that I was playing with when I was first testing this out. One of the big things that this mod does offer is it does do a level scaling, but it scales back the host down to the level of the NP player. So that means that say I'm level 30, which I'm very close to level 27. If he was level 1, it would actually scale me back to level 14, as opposed to scaling the NP player up. So that was something very important to consider. Luckily enough, adding NP players is very easy to do. When you go into your character selection screen, you'll see there's an extra little button now. You always have your standard favorite, play, and delete character button. So there's also a little plus button. When you mouse over it, it will say add to NP player list. So this means you can actually form your own little party to work with. So for those of you who just feel like it'd be kind of fun to run around with a bunch of AI-controlled mini-me's or something like that, or you want to have your own, you want to run with your own little player army of characters that you've worked really hard on, that's the way to do it. As you can see, I'm continuing up along to the east of my world, moving towards the Crimson. I was doing a little bit of exploring in the jungle and found it was a little bit tough. So I'm gonna give the underground Crimson a try and just see how I can make out there. Of course, being still fairly low level, I can't make any promises of how well I'm gonna do, but it should at least provide some great cheap entertainment for you guys. And hopefully, if nothing else, I'll at least get to find some good loot. Another thing that I'm also on the hunt for right now is these strange dye plants, as those are what gives me access to the dye trader, who is the mage class trainer for this system. Luckily, I just found a strange plant here, so that means the dye trader should show up at some time in the very near future for me. Now we can actually start working towards being a mage and not just being stuck as a generic level 10 Terrarian. Deeper and deeper into the Crimson we go. It is meant for levels 23 to 27, so we are actually right in the key area, or level range I should say, for this biome. So you'll see we have some altars here. We'll have to smash those a little bit later, right after the wall of flesh. Once we destroy those, that's what's going to give us access to all of the various hard mode ores that we're going to be after later. As for right now, they are just an indestructible piece of terrain, as is all of the crimstone block around us. This is just kind of more of an informational, exploratory dive, just to see what's available to us. But I figured going somewhere easy, not as entertaining for you guys. I figured you want to see me somewhere where there's a really good chance that I can get wrecked very easily. The other thing you'll see down here is there are a bunch of crimson hearts. I need those to actually take on the Brain of Cthulhu, which is one of the bosses. You take down 3 hearts, and he will spawn. The other interesting thing that happens with those is that you get a chance to get a meteorite in your world, which gives you access to the meteorite ore, which can be very, very important, especially for a caster such as myself. So we'll see. Don't worry, I did notice that heart crystal just off to the side there. I will go back for it in just a second, but I wanted to see just where this cave went. As you can see down here in the bottom left-hand corner, Hanno the Dye Trader has arrived. That means I can actually start working towards my mage quest. Got a nice little swarm of guys coming after us right now. Luckily enough, between myself and Rakon, my little ranger buddy, these things will not pose any kind of threat. Or at least as long as my weapon can hit them. So we're gonna dig up this heart crystal. For those of you who are a bit newer to the game, life crystals increase your minimum life. In regular Terraria, your life is static. You have to up it using life crystals and life fruit later on in the game. But for us, because we have stats such as vitality, that actually upgrades our health for us. The other nice thing about getting life crystals, once you have used it, the nurse is also going to be an NPC that will appear at your house. So this one we're going to use a recall potion and head back to the house quickly, as I want to get talking to that Dye Trader. The Dye Trader is an NPC that generally will trade strange plants for dyes so that you can make your armor and clothing look completely different colors. And they have some very unique looking colors, including but not limited to, like, you can get rainbows. They call them shadow, which has this like a blue and purple tint to it, or ripple effect. So there's lots of things. You're definitely gonna have to go onto the Terraria wiki to check that out, as I couldn't even begin to list all of the different ones around. So our Dye Trader's got a couple of quests for us, including arachnophobia, which he wants us to go and kill a bunch of wall creepers, and the mage qualification test. I need to collect 1 iron skin potion. So we're also going to turn in our strange plant, which gives us the purple ooze dye. So we got 3 of them here, so you can see we put them in our dye slots here, and it's going to change the way my armor looks. Now my armor is this weird dark purpley color. So that's what dye does. It's essentially another little social thing to help you customize the look of your character. Alright, here comes our friend the nurse. So between her and Bronson here, there's going to be a quest chain that involves us going after the Queen Bee. We're not going to tackle that just yet, as we are definitely not ready for her. We haven't even taken on the Eye of Cthulu yet. And he is generally one of the first bosses you attempt, besides the Slime King. The Slime King is kind of an optional boss. He doesn't really drop anything. The only thing that would be great for us to find is the Slime Staff, but that has a very low chance of dropping from slimes in the world as well. So hopefully we'll come across it soon, but we will work towards that. Alright. So we need to do an iron skin potion. First question is, do I have any of those hidden around in one of my chests? If I do, that would be nice. That would make things a lot easier. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I have any, so that's something we're gonna have to work. Something we may have to work towards. We're just gonna check the shops just to see, just in case we luck out and can just very quickly and easily buy one. Fortunately, I am not seeing any. Nope, we might be fresh out of luck on this. It looks like we are fresh out of luck, so we're gonna have to go and do a quick look up on how to make this. Alright, we are back now with the information on how to make an iron skin potion. So, we have to see how our ingredients are looking. We've got the day bloom, we've got the bottles that we need, and I even have, I have some tin ore. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I have any iron ore, so that's something we're gonna have to very quickly go mining for. Let's go see what we can find. Luckily enough, as our friend Rakon falls off screen, he will come and join us. We don't have to worry about trying to make, clear pathways for him so he can jump around. Let us see what we can find. Partially because I haven't really done any underground work yet. I have not discovered ore deposits just quite yet. Let me see, we've got some tin ore here, I believe, by the looks of it. That was... Oh, apparently I'm losing things in my inventory today, folks. You're probably all yelling at me. It's sitting right there, but I am blind as a bat, unless, of course, Rakon picked it up, which is something you do have to worry about sometimes, is they will pick items up on you. Generally speaking, they'll give them to you, but you may have to wait a little bit or get a few more. So that is just something you may want to be aware of in case you're trying to pick up loot and you have no idea where it went. Check your NP player. One thing that you'll find quite commonly in the world as well is there's usually always one of those altars right near your spawn. It just makes it very easy to go and craft some of the items that you will need for later. Hey look, it's a chest we haven't found yet. Well, we should really quickly loot everything that's in there. And I believe this is more tin ore. Yes it is, so unfortunately that's not what we are after. We need either iron or its equivalent in this, which is lead. It appears I didn't go far enough down during my initial search of this cavern, as there is a golden chest down here, so that's really great for us to see one so close to our spawn. We'll jump up here, and luckily we don't have to work too hard to break into this room. Just clear a bunch of these cobwebs. This is a great way to make some cloth armor and various other useful items later. What do we have? More shoe spikes, silver bar, and some wooden arrows. That's nice. So we've now got the climbing claws and the shoe spikes. Later on, we can combine those together with a little help from the goblin tinker and his tinker's workbench to allow us to combine those and give ourselves the ability to climb up walls. So right now, we're just going to have to continue our way on. Looks like we're going to actually have to break through the bottom of this house a little bit to continue our journey. Just going to put some torches in here just to make sure we can see what's going on, keep some light up for us. And we'll just very quickly mine out the wood underneath our own feet. There we go, let's continue our exploration. This actually looks like what we're looking for right here. We're going to dig some up. This is indeed iron ore. This is what we are after to complete our iron skin potions. Fantastic. Luckily, we have lots of recall potions, so we'll head back up to the surface here. Very quickly jump on over. I will have to fill that gap in at some point just to make it easier to walk across. But for now, I'm not too worried about it. My base will probably get extended over that gap at some point in the near future as well. Alright, off to our chest is we need to place a water bottle on a shelf, and we need to go and fill this with some water on our own. I completely forgot to grab these on my way out the door the first time, but that's fine. There's always water pretty nearby your base, so we'll just go for a little fly and see how far we have to go. Over the mountain, Rakon trying to follow us as best as he can. Due to our flight, it's much easier for us to get around. You just have to be near some water and with some empty bottles, and you can get bottled water. All right, we've got what we need. Now we can run back to the house. go. Take out some more slimes on the way. Always got to keep collecting gel, as that's what allows us to make torches in this game. Alright. We have that done. We should be able to go stand right near our bottle here. And Iron Skin Potion. Done. Alright, let's go talk to the Dye Trader again, see what else he wants us to do. Oh, that was everything. So we've got our mage class. There we go. We are now officially mages within the world of Terraria. So now we have to work on leveling up our job. We have a few status points to spend here, so we'll make sure to handle those very quickly. We're going to increase our intelligence to keep our damage scaling. It does also up our immunity rate, and as well as a little bit of our summon damage. Charisma is our main summon damage and max summons. We want to keep points in there for when we can start summoning mobs. And Wisdom, which we definitely need to apply because we want to make sure we keep our max mana increasing all the time. Something I just noticed, and some of you may have been shouting at me again, is Wisdom actually has a mana cost decrease. Intelligence has a mana cost increase. So it looks like the two are kind of meant to balance each other out. So I'm probably upping the mana cost of some of what I do. Yep, Magic Stick is telling me that is 100% true. It's 3 mana to cast now instead of 2. That's my bad, but luckily enough, we have so much mana right now that it's not really all that much of a concern. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get some little bonus items as well in your inventory from taking a class. Fortunately, that doesn't look like it's the case today with the Dye Trader and getting our mage class. But for now, we have to continue on our way of killing everything we see, because otherwise we cannot advance. You see, all of our friends have fairly standard quests for us. What does the demolition offer us? Mine search. He wants us to go to a given location and see if it's somewhere we can do some mining. Bronson does not have anything available for us at the moment. And Seymour has his usual try to get me shackles and try to get my hooks that were not dropping for us. So I think we'll continue on with what we have here. Hopefully we'll get the last Eye of Cthulu to spawn tonight. Oh, that is actually our first boss. I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to work on making that mysterious lens. I'll have to look up how to make that, which may be something we tackle next episode. So I want to make sure we can get ourselves in a decent level of preparedness to handle him. For now, we're at least gonna go and continue off and check out the mine. Luckily, it's just a couple hundred feet in this direction, which makes it very, very easy for us. Just missed it. So it clearly means he wants us to drop down this little cave here. Luckily there's some guys to have a little bit of fun with in here first. Nine feet to the north, eh? There we go, we found it. We had to jump to hit that just right coordinate for us. Right. Handled that. We're gonna keep taking out a bunch of these eyes as best we can, as we're gonna need to get those lenses, which I believe is one of the crafting materials for the suspicious-looking eye. I think it's called, which is the summon item for the Eye of Cthulu. The other way to get him to spawn using vanilla mechanics is you have to have an HP of at least 200 or more, but because of the way Terraria changes how HP and things work, I'm not 100% sure that it will spawn like that. As it hasn't yet, we've had over 200 HP for a good while. Usually it is a 1 in 3 chance that it will spawn at night. So that's something we will just continue working on. Alright. Just doing a quick little check through our inventory. Gonna drop off a bunch of things that we're not too worried about. Definitely gonna keep our healing potions around. We definitely want those. It's very interesting. We have two different kinds of healing potions here, so they're not stacking together. So that's a little odd, but nothing to be too concerned about. Also have a black lens. So let's see what we can see if I can figure out how to make what we need to make here. Definitely get our base iron and silver stuff going, which is good. Hoping I can hold out just a little bit longer to start putting together new tools, as that small jump that comes at having 35%, or sorry, 35% to 45% is not a big difference. Fortunately, I'm not seeing it there. We'll check the table, as each of these different bits of furniture are all different forms of crafting. You can see we can make goggles for ourselves, which gives us a +3 defense, but our cactus helmet, which is what it would replace, also gives us 3 defense plus a little set bonus. So we actually have 43 defense, which for a caster is very good at this point. Like, that's something you can't generally achieve this early in the game. You usually have to wait until about mid-game to start seeing any kind of decent levels, because your job is damage from range, where you shouldn't be getting into too much trouble, versus getting up into something's face. So it looks like I'm not 100% sure how to create the item that I need to summon the Eye of Cthulu, so I'm just going to quickly look it up and then we'll jump right back into the gameplay. I have taken a quick look at what I need to handle here. We need to take our lenses off to the demon altar that we had just found, and that will give us what we're after. Continue on our way. We're getting more fallen stars all the time, which is always great for us, as that will allow us to continuously increase our mana even without leveling up. We're going to head right down to the underground here. I'm going to run into a few bats along the way, as I always do. Luckily enough now, we're getting to the point where their attacks don't deal much damage to us. There is our Crimson Altar. So you can see, we can create the suspicious looking eye. This is the item we need that will summon the Eye of Cthulu. We'll jump our way back out of here, as I believe it is still early enough in the evening that I should be able to summon and fight him. As the Eye of Cthulu can only be fought at night and disappears when it is no longer night. I do not have the clock item in my inventory just yet, so I'm not 100% sure of the timing, but we'll give it a shot. At worst, we'll get some more lenses, and we will continue trying to fight him. Alright. Usually you want to prepare some form of an arena. I'm not going to do that for my first playthrough. I'm just going to see how we do. It's now raining, so we're going to get a few different enemies. Away we go. Eye of Cthulu is on his way. You can see from my minimap, he's actually coming up from underneath me. Hopefully, not going to be too much of an issue. He's going after my ally at the moment. Very hard to shoot and aim this thing at him right now. I'm not quite sure. But we're going to continue working on it as best we can and see what we can do. As you can see, he just changed modes there because we brought him down under half health. He's definitely very interested in my MP friend, which is great for me. But hopefully... Oh yeah, we should have him here. He's just about there. Oop, took him to the face. And there we go. Eye of Cthulu is gone. Excellent. That wasn't too terrible, other than it being very difficult to hit him with this magic staff that I'm using. Mainly because I'm not 100% used to using it, and it's not quite as easy to aim as some of the other weapons can be. But that's alright. Hopefully we'll learn in time, and or pick up some new gear. Run back into the house, talk to the guide, and tell him we have dealt with it. There we go. We also have to go and talk to Norsen to tell him that we have found his mine. Alright, so now we have to talk to the Dryad. So that is something that I believe we have to wait for her to spawn. She should spawn come dawn. But for the time being, we can run around and do a little more hunting of annoying critters. We're just going to run over, talk to the guy, because he's got a quest that just tells us to kill some demon eyes. Finding a sword, zombie attacks. So there's lots of little things we can hopefully do in the meantime, just to keep ourselves occupied. I'm not going to go towards that event, as I don't feel like killing off swarms of bats, as much as they seem to feel like they need to come after me, apparently. There's the guide's lost sword, so that's excellent. So that's a quick turn in for some free XP for us. And we'll just continue fighting our way around and working to turn some quests in. I know it's a little bit hard to see. I am trying to take that into consideration, but I'm also forgetful, so you will have to. I hope you'll forgive me for this. Forgive me for doing that. Oh, we have lots of friends spawning now. Excellent. That'll help us get through our quest nice and quickly. Well, looks like it's just become daytime. Yep, it is daytime. We've got slimes, we've got flying fish, and you can tell by the bats and floating eyes all just started flying off. Look at that. Lots of good stuff going on here. Excellent. Oh, and there's all of the slimes that we need to collect for our friend, the guide. So lots of good stuff to work on here. There we go. Collected one gel. And that should be number 2. Number 3. Luckily enough, 4 and 5 are right inside the house, which makes it even easier for us to turn this all in. And one more. Excellent, there we go. Go talk to the guide and hopefully get a pile of XP for this. Yep, lots of XP. Doesn't look like we leveled up any, unfortunately, but we at least got a few more things done. Alright. We got a couple more experience points to dump in. So I think we're gonna put these, I'm gonna put some more points into vitality and into charisma. Then we can check out our class. As you can see, we are now level 2 mages, which means we have 2 points to spend. Oh, there's actually the water bolt spell that I was hoping to find. That I was actually hoping to find before. Alright. You can see there's lots of different places we can put our points in. One of my personal favorites is Water Bolt. It's the Water Bolt. I also like the Mana Boost and the Magic Experience. Magic Experience is something we need to just unlock a bunch of our abilities, so we will have to put our points there. But I do also want to make sure I grab Water Bolt. As of now, I have access to that spell. So, Water Bolt spell shoots water bolts to the nearest targets. Damage is 7 plus 1/4 of the player level. And they deal 120% of total damage and reduces 4% per level. Number of bolts increases with the level. So let's take a look at what this does, shall we? Fortunately, it has a cast time, but you can see it sends out a bunch of bolts, just ricocheting around the room. Not quite as good as when you have the actual spell book for it, as you can spam click it, as opposed to having to dealing with the cast time on it, as cast time does also slow you down. But it'll be a great little spell to take. It'll be a great little spell to take on some enemies with. All right, the Dryad has just arrived. Let's see where she's hiding out at. Yeah, she's just on the top of our little floating grassland thing that's over here. Which means we are going to have to go and have some words with the local bat populace. But that's alright. Taking a couple bats, it'll at least be some free rewards. And we have now talked to her. So she's going to send us on... She's going to start sending us off to the Crimson. As the Dryad's whole thing is she likes to see the land and nature preserved. So the Crimson and Corruption are infections upon her sacred land. Alright, we'll see what other quests she offers for us. As soon as she stops running around. We got a few other quests too. So we got Snatcher Madness and Lawn Mowing. So these are actually jungle quests. So we'll have to work on those when we go to the jungle. But for right now, looks like we need to head off to the Crimson. Luckily enough, we can go in any direction and get there. So I think I'm going to head off to the west here. Or east, sorry. My sense of direction can be a little terrible. I think we're going to run off, do this one last quest, and that will be it for today. Hopefully you guys are going to learn a little bit, and hopefully you are liking these videos. As of course with every YouTuber and every YouTuber out there, I always ask if you like it. So, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Subscribe to the channel. Those are the biggest ways to keep more content coming and to help out not just me, but any of your favorite YouTubers. If you hit those like, dislike, or subscribe buttons, any of them, or comment on their videos, will help ensure that they know what's going on, and it'll also allow their channels to become more popular as more people are interacting with their videos. So it is something to keep in mind. Obviously, I hope you guys subscribe to my channel, but that's something that I'll have to leave for you to decide. Right, we are here in the Crimson. Our goal is to take down 20 of these 20 creatures in the Crimson. Luckily enough, that's not too difficult. There's a pretty good spawn rate here, and lots of fun stuff to take down. So we're just going to continue our way down the rabbit hole here. Pardon my verbal flubs there. Words are always very difficult to get out, especially more so when you are recording them for the world to hear. Continue our way down the rabbit hole here. So we only have to take out 6 more creatures now. Nice and easy to take. Nice and easy. Lots of stuff here. Oop. I'm apparently trying to place torches right now. That's not going to help me kill things. I'm just about dead. Wow. That was just a little closer than I'd care to make it. Oh, there must be a granite biome right nearby. As that is a granite elemental. Okay, I think it might be time to get out of here. We are running into trouble left, right, and center. Luckily enough, because we unloaded the screen, the Dryad has gone home. There we go. Now to take out 10 blood crawlers, which are those little red-looking spiders that we were taking out a bunch of. But I think these quests are going to be saved for next time. Once again, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of this content, like I mentioned, hit the subscribe button. And of course, always feel free to interact with my videos, tell me what you did like, what you didn't like, and even what I can do better, as I am always learning.